What's up, guys? This is the Domestic Walrus, and I'm giving you guys a quick guide here on the Ranger for Dragon's Dogma. I play the Ranger. I love the Ranger. It is awesome. It's my favorite class, so I figured I'd start off with this. I haven't seen any video guides on vocations yet, so I figured why not give it a shot, see what happens. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started right away. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown on the class beforehand, and just to let you guys know kind of what this vocation is about. It is an advanced class or vocation, meaning it specializes in a certain thing. In this case, it's archery, hence the name Ranger. It bases around a Strider. When I say that, I mean it's very similar to a Strider as far as gameplay goes. You're often doing the similar stuff to a Strider aside from your awesome kick-ass archery abilities. So that's one thing that you guys should know. Again, it specializes in archery. That's one thing I just mentioned. And it also uses daggers for its melee up close weaponry. So that is the other thing. If you don't like daggers, maybe this isn't the class for you. But then again, if you like archery, this is the class for you because it specializes in archery. So it's really up to you guys how you guys like it. So that is a basic, quick little rundown on the Ranger. So we're starting with a couple pros and cons on the Ranger itself. For starters, they use longbows, which is awesome in my opinion. They're much more powerful and strong and just cooler in my opinion. They're twice the size of your character, which is awesome. So I like that. I don't know. Again, there's also you have amazing archery based skills. When I say that, it means your archery is just far more superior to other vocations. You're just getting more skills, and the class itself bases around this play style being archery. So it also has what I call a knockdown effect. This is talking about longbows. The knockdown effect basically is when you're firing your arrow, you're more than often, you're going to stagger your opponent or cause them to lose their footing, so they get, they stumble, and it takes a longer time for them to get to you, allowing you to have more survivability. This also makes it what I call a safety class. This means you're going to be attacking from a distance primarily, so you're often going to be dying less and being completely out of the enemy's reach, allowing you to have a better chance for survival, being a safe class. So the other thing, though, is it is effective both close up and afar. If for some reason an enemy gets to you, or you don't see him and it flanks you or whatever, you can defend yourself with your daggers if you have to, and be considerably good with them. It's not, if you're playing this, don't just completely rule out daggers. They are actually quite good, especially if you're climbing up on the monsters and using 100 kisses on them or something. So definitely consider that. The other thing is it has the best stamina progression out of every other vocation in the game. So the Ranger itself gets 30 stamina per level up from 10 to 100, whereas the other classes get from 10 to, I think, 27 an assassin gets. So the Ranger gets 3. Multiply that by every single level you're getting, equals much more significant stamina pool. So that is definitely some stuff that you need to watch out for. A couple cons now that we got the good stuff out of the way. Just a couple things that I think could be better as far as the Ranger goes. The first thing and the most awful thing is it burns your stamina. The Ranger, no matter the perks you use or how much stamina you get, you often go through your stamina quite fast. So you're going to find yourself bringing more stamina curatives and mushrooms and using them quite more often as a Ranger. I know I have, because you're just with your tenfold flurry or whatever, uses just a considerable amount of stamina, you find yourself just draining it relatively fast. So you gotta watch out for that. Um, the other thing I've heard, I personally disagree with this, is that the longbows are slow. I don't think they're that bad. They're not like, like one shot every 5 seconds or anything. It's a decent speed. But some people have said that they are slower, which is, they are slower than short bows given, but I don't think they're that bad. But that's just one thing to think about, I guess, before you decide that this is the class you want to be. The other thing is, longbows are rare. When I say that is, progressing through the game, you don't find many longbow upgrades, and when you do, you're often using it throughout a majority of the story before you find another upgrade. Most of the upgrades aren't found until post game or end game, um, before you finally get some decent um, longbows. So you're also it might be a good thing to have a buddy that is in post game while you're leveling up. Maybe he can hook you up with some decent upgrades that he found. So that's just one thing to kind of consider. Another thing is its low defense progression. Um, Throughout leveling from 10 to 100, the ranger gets 2 defense points throughout leveling up, whereas other classes get more. As far as like the warrior and the fighter, the assassin and the strider are about par with the ranger. However, with my build that I have here, if you follow it, you're not as squishy because you're spending a majority of your time as a fighter and a warrior getting those boosts. So it kind of helps that, but even with that, you're also not the strongest person around, obviously. Um, Another thing is the low bow mobility. What that is when you have your arrow in its quiver and you're ready to shoot, if you move around, you're going to notice you're a lot slower. This allows the enemy to possibly get up to you and slash the crap out of you before you have a chance to, unsheath or unsheath your longbow and book it away. So that's one thing you kind of have to be careful about. Um, the last thing is you're limited to daggers as your melee weapon. You can't use swords like an assassin. It's just like a strider. You can only use daggers, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. However you want to look at it. So definitely keep an eye out for that, and hook yourself up with some good daggers, and just be ready just to take it. So um, now let's talk about now that we got those pros and cons out of the way, we're going to talk about your main skills, in my opinion, what you should be using to get the most out of your ranger. First and the most awesome skill that they get is Tenfold Flurry, which you get at rank 5. Tenfold Flurry, basically you're shooting 10 arrows at the same time at your enemy, which is incredible. How much damage you can get. You can shoot hundreds of arrows into a Cyclops' eye and just completely murder it. So that's just a great thing. Definitely get that. That is a main skill. Um, Another thing is Comet Shot or Meteor Shot if you're talking about a lower rank. Comet Shot is your sniper skill. You get it at rank 7. Um, you can upon using it, you zoom in and you can see your enemies ahead. And when you fire it, it's more of an instant shot, and you can often deal with enemies in a single shot before they even have a chance to notice you. So it's a great opener for your combat. The other thing is an optional. Great Gamble, it's an optional skill. You can switch it out with something else. I use it just because it's good, but I mean, it's not really important. You basically, when you shoot it, you have a chance to control your arrow for a little bit before it hits your target. So it's kind of like you can turn it into like a heat seeker sort of shot. You get it at rank 9, but I could totally agree with switching it for like a crowd control shot or something else that you like. So it's really up to you for that one. Um, Daggers, for the most part, guys, you can do what you want. You're really limited to how many moves you have with the ranger as far as daggers goes. So One thing that you definitely need to pick up though is 100 Kisses, which is Scarlet Kisses upgrade. You get it at rank 7, and it is awesome. You I'm trying to think. You basically you can climb on the enemies, use the spell, and hit them like hundreds of times while you're climbing on them. So it just gives you much more of a strength and advantage while you're climbing on the enemy, which is why a majority of all roguish classes in general climb on the enemies in Dragon's Dogma because of this move. It's just very overpowered. So your last two guys, do what you want. It's not really gonna matter because you're there's not many skills that you can get. So just do with it what you will. Now we're going to talk about the most important thing, your augments. Without augments, your character is going to be fail. The augments I have listed here, I use them. I think they're the best. You could disagree. You can change the stuff around. You can do whatever you want. These are what I use. If you guys have something different, write it down. Help the other people out. This is just my opinion, guys. I'm not saying it's the best one around. This is just what I use. So with that, we're gonna start off here. We got Clout, which is a warrior augment you get at rank 9, which basically just increases your strength by 20% and makes all of your moves, archery and melee, stronger by 20%, which is incredible. Definitely pick that up. The other one, which is a must-have in my opinion, is proficiency, which, you know how I said rangers have a tough time with stamina. This will help. This decreases the stamina used by 25% for all your spells and daggers. So it will help you greatly. So definitely pick that up too. It's just a subtract 25% on all your moves for stamina. The other one you want to pick up is Vehemence, I believe it's pronounced, which is a fighter augment you get at rank 9 as well, which increases your strength by another 10%. So ultimately you're having 30% strength increase, meaning you're 30% more viable. You're also going to want to pick up Damping, which is a Strider augment you get at rank 3. It reduces the recoil of your longbows, which longbows have a significant amount of recoil in my opinion. So this will help you with ultimately being more accurate with your shots. You also have Trajectory, if that's how you pronounce it. Trajectory, however. Which is a ranger augment you get at rank 6. Plain and simple, it increases your distance by 1.3 for your arrows, so you can shoot farther away, allowing you to be more at a safe distance. So it's ultimately just a great thing to have. You also want to have Precision, which is a good move in my opinion. Upon moving around and shooting, you'll notice your accuracy is lower. With proficiency, your accuracy is fine while you're moving around and shooting. You're going to find that you're much more accurate and hitting more of those shots more often than missing. So that's definitely a bonus in my opinion if you're as bad of an archer as me and you can't hit a frickin' anything to save your life. So those are the 6 augments I use. You can use different ones as you will. Whatever works for you is fine. So with that, we're going to talk about my last and final and probably possibly most helpful slide out of here. It's called the progression. This is what I did when leveling up my ranger. I started off from the start of the game. I took a fighter. I took him to rank 8. I picked up Vehemence. And then from there, I went right to a warrior to rank 9. By the time of both those, I would say I was less than halfway, or I was not even that far in the game at all. I just make sure you do your side quests, guys. Don't go right into the story right away, because otherwise you're gonna find that you're gonna finish the game and you didn't even get to play the ranger or the vocation you wanted to play. So do your side quests. It'll help you level up your vocations, allowing you to get to the one that you ultimately want to play. So you want to pick up fighter to rank 8, warrior to rank 9. Then I go to strider until rank 3. I pick up damping for the recoil, and then from there I just jump right into the the ranger, um, and just play it all the way for the rest of the way through. By the time I got to my ranger, I was probably a little bit over halfway with the game as far as the main story goes, so it's not that bad. Um, the other thing is with playing as a fighter and a warrior, your defense is going to be a lot better than just jumping from a strider to a ranger or whatever, because you're gonna build up that defense, keeping it, allowing you to be less squishy if an enemy gets to you, and not getting one shotted by the dragon or the end boss or anything. So, um, it just helps you a lot. This is what I use. It's great. The other thing that I want to mention real quick is Rangers from 10 to 100 get a 3-point magic gain every level. So those magic daggers you can use and be relatively good with it. Considering a mage gets a 4 and 5, I think for a sorcerer, something around there. Um, Ranger gets that 3-point, which is decent. So you can use magic daggers significantly and be viable with them. That's pretty much it, guys. That's all I really have to say. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe if you guys like these. I hope you guys did. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys build that best ranger vocation build out there. And yeah, just remember to subscribe, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.